Move on, and like promised, we do have the management of Wonderla Holidays joining in with us. Arun Chittapalli, MD at the company, joining in with us. Arun, very good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining in with us. When I'm looking at the numbers, revenue surely seeing a good growth as well. Profits a bit of a flattishness on a year-on-year basis. But let's talk about numbers. What is the expectation going forward, and how are the footfalls looking like as well, Arun? In terms of Q3, how are the footfalls like? And what we understand also, you've mentioned that the existing parks are likely to see a growth of 5 to 6% in terms of footfalls. What is going to be the growth driver in terms of momentum over there? How will you see these increasing the key metrics in terms of the targets that you have over here as well?
Thank you for having me on the show. Yeah, like you rightly said, we are expecting between 3 to 5% of footfall growth in our existing parks, going forward. And we see that trend continuing even, this quarter and next quarter, going forward as well. The main triggers for existing parks will be impact on non-ticket revenues because we have a lot of initiatives that we have done and continue to do so to improve our, ARPU growth. And that has really helped us. And footfall drivers, basically a lot of marketing exercises that we have done in our existing markets. But we're not seeing large growth in footfalls because these are already established and in a way, well-established parks, and they've been there for a long time. But the big drivers for us in terms of revenue growth will come because our new parks will come on stream. We are expecting our latest park in Orissa to come on stream in the next quarter, sometime in late May next quarter. So that will give us, an uptick in revenues. We're expecting about 5 to 6 lakh visitors in our first year of operations. So that should be a big driver for us in the next year. And following that, we will be opening our park in Chennai in FY26, and that will also be a growth driver for us in terms of, overall numbers.
That's what I was going to ask about as well in terms of the Odisha park as well. You said that will be expected to be operational in the next quarter. That's somewhere around in May that you said. So 2025, we'll be seeing that impact coming in. So what is it in terms of, the expectation that would be adding to the top line? You mentioned like 5 to 6 lakh customers that will be coming in the first year. But how much would that be adding to the top line then?
We can expect roughly 800 to 1,000 rupees per visitor kind of numbers. If you can add, that's the kind of ballpark expectation that we have. Obviously, we don't know, how it's going to play out because it's a launch year, and so there will be, it's hard to predict exact numbers, but that's the ballpark kind of numbers that we're looking at for the first year.
Inclusive of the inflation, I'm guessing that you're penciling in not just from this particular park as well, the others too. Are you expecting a hike in the prices?
Yeah, so every year we typically take between 7 to 10% price hikes, and you can expect that to happen in the coming year as well. We will be taking between 7 to 12% price hikes across the offerings that we have. And that should also help us improve revenues in our existing parks. So on top of the 3 to 5% footfall growth, the revenue growth also will be this will be compounding on top of that.
7 to 12% kind of growth in terms of the ticket prices, and then 3 to 5% in terms of the volumes as well. But what about the non-ticketing revenue, the F&B side of things? How's that shaping up? Because of course inflation was playing a bit of a spoilsport till last year. Are things looking on the upside now in terms of the margins there as well?
Yeah, so for us, non-ticket revenue has been a focus area. In fact, we've seen a huge growth in non-ticket revenue in the last quarter, which is Q3. In fact, our non-ticket revenues grew by 35% on a comparable quarter basis. And we expect that kind of growth to continue in this quarter and going forward as well, because that is something that we've been focusing on. We feel that that is where we have a lot of headroom to grow our revenues. People are looking to spend more on higher quality offerings in terms of F&B and retail. And that trend is sure to continue.
Right, Arun, I just want to know one more thing is that, obviously in the sector, when you're looking at it also amusement parks, there is a bit of a consolidation that is happening. Would you as a company be looking at any inorganic growth opportunity as well, and in terms of expansion plans that you have?
Yeah, I think there is a lot of scope to to grow in this sector. There are very few organized players, and in fact, we've been at the forefront of this. We expect to be in more cities going forward. Like I already told you, we are going to be opening 2 parks in the next 2 years, and on top of that, we are also in talks with various state governments to do larger projects. We are not really looking at acquisition because we have a very specific format in which we operate, and that is our strength. And so we want to capitalize on that, and we do large format amusement parks, there are not too many of those available in the country right now. So we have to build them from scratch, and I think we are confident of doing it. We will be announcing more projects. In fact, we have been talking to governments of Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Punjab, and UP. So some of these projects will materialize in the coming quarters, and we will be announcing those projects as and when we have green light from the government.
Chitrapalli, we let you go on that note. Thanks so much for making time and speaking with us.